Okay. Welcome, Kerry. Welcome, Davy. How are you?
Well done,
Are you okay? Good. You all right, Kerry?
Yes, thank you.
Good. First things first, I just wanted to let you know that the session is going to be recorded today, with your permission, of course. I am recording now. Is that all right with both of you?
Yep.
Yep.
Excellent. Good. Thanks for joining me today. It's good to see you, albeit in the virtual world. I was just going to ask, Kerry, if you're both comfortable and got a cuppa, but I see that you have there. Excellent.
Fully stocked, fully brewed.
Davey, are you all right? Are you quite comfortable there?
Oh, aye, I'm comfortable all the time, me.
A drink? Do you need to get a drink or anything?
No. I've just had a Wednesday morning bacon roll and a brew. Oh,
perfect. So you're all fed and watered and quite happy. That's good. This will be a short session, no more than 35 minutes. But please, can I just ask you to put your phone on silent just until the end of the session? I know, Kerry, you and I, Davey, I know that you're not at home at the moment, but Kerry and I, and I know from previous sessions and meetings and things that we both have animals that like to make an appearance now and again. So I'm just checking that they've all been fed and watered as well. And I'm going to try and stop my cat Luna from walking across the keyboard at the moment throughout the session, and hopefully we won't get too many distractions. If we encounter any technical difficulties today, the full PowerPoint presentation is going to be available in the BHA way on Teams. I'll just direct you to that at the end of the session, so you know exactly where it is, so that you or anybody else that needs to revisit the slides can do that at any time. Please feel free to ask questions throughout. It'll help me to develop the session in future, and there's no such thing as a silly question, especially when it comes to health and safety. We don't need any introductions today because we all know each other well, but I'd like you both to take part in a short icebreaker just to get us thinking about the session today. So have you got a bit of paper there and a pen? Excellent. So you're going to have just 30 seconds to do this little icebreaker. It's a quick one. And what I want you to do, please, is thinking about returning to the office fully and getting back into normal, if we can call it that, ways of working, now that restrictions are easing. I want you to draw how you feel about returning to the office. It can be something quite simple, or just a little picture which represents how you feel about that now. So your 30 seconds starts now. It's like win, lose or draw. Ten seconds left. And stop. Okay, who's going first? Kerry. Meh. So you're not too sure about it. What? Let's talk about that. What's a meh all about? Is that you saying meh?
Yeah. It's the lack of temperature control.
Yeah.
Not being able to switch my heating on when I want it on.
And just, what about what else? What about from how you feel about, you know, the possibility of you mingling with other people and things like that?
I think it's just a case of doing what's best for yourself and just managing my own expectations and not getting too concerned if I don't think people have done what I would do. Mm-hmm. So, like, I know we've got a small kitchen. If it ends up there's two people in that kitchen, that's for them to manage, not for me to get stressy about.
That's fine. And the thing is, we are lucky that we're agile working, so we don't necessarily have to be all in the office at the same time, which is good. What about you, Davy? Let's see your picture. Is that smiley, Davy? Yippee!
It is.
Bacon butty face.
So you're quite happy to be getting back to normal, Davy, are you?
Yeah, I think it's a good thing. It's not all the time, but you know, we've got our anchor days on a Wednesday particularly, and it's a chance to actually interact. Nice to see people again. And the beauty of what we get on a Wednesday is that we can talk about jobs specifically, because there's a whole wealth of knowledge that you can't tap into when you're working either remotely or you're out on the road all the time. So it's a godsend, very useful, and it's a good way to get into the new blended way of working.
Excellent, that's great. So with all of that in mind, so there's lots of positives about that, and Kerry, it's more a case of quite enjoying working from home, I think, in your case, and being able to keep the heating at the adequate temperature. But with all that in mind, what we're going to be looking at today is obviously how to keep ourselves and others safe when we're at work. So what I'm going to do now is share my screen. If you can just let me know if you can see this okay. Oh, I've just managed to close that down. Here we go. Can you see that okay?
It's just a list of
oh, hang on.
Files, but yes, I can see your screen, but not actually.
Right, hang on a sec. As I said, if we have a lot of technical difficulties today, we can. Here we go. You'll find these on Teams, but I'll go. Hopefully, you can see that now. Can you?
Yeah, perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah,
that's great.
Got it.
Excellent. So, staying safe the BHA way. This is our aim today. So by the end of this session, you should understand how to keep yourself and others safe at work. And our objectives are, by the end of this session, you should be able to describe 2 steps you need to take to keep yourself and your colleagues safe in the office, and also explain 2 actions which will help keep yourself and our customers safe when you're visiting their homes. So first of all, we're going to look at the topics that we're going to cover. So obviously with agile working, we've got various situations where we have to think about keeping ourselves and other people safe. So we've got returning to the office, working from home, when in customers' homes, and when we're out and about. What would you say your current confidence level is on a scale of 0 to 10 here with regard to your knowledge about keeping yourself and others safe? Where would you say you're on that chart?
7.
Good. Davey, what about you?
Yeah, my confidence level on that, keeping myself safe, is quite high.
I know you've got a strong health and safety background, so I know that you know. Where would you say you are?
I think it needs to be about 9.
That's fine.
There's always a potential that something's going to happen that catches you unawares, but this session will help on that too.
So I just want to have a quick word about testing. Obviously, we're encouraging staff to continue with lateral flow tests at the moment. Twice a week is the recommendation currently by the Scottish Government. That remains the same. We're not issuing tests at BHA, but they are available from your local pharmacy by calling 119 or by ordering test kits online to be delivered to your home. If you have symptoms, obviously, you should self-isolate and get a PCR test as soon as possible. And PCR tests can be sent to your home, or you can book at a test centre. So, returning to the office, can you tell me, first of all, obviously sanitising your hands is still a good way to make sure you're not passing on the virus. Can you tell me where you'll find the first sanitizer as you come into the office? Davey?
There's sanitizer at the entrance. Most entrances actually, and into the offices themselves.
Perfect. We're still wearing a face covering for the time being. Again, that hasn't changed. So please make sure when you're moving around the building that you've got your face covering on. And also wear a face covering when you've got to move within 1 metre of your colleagues. So if you're doing close work or training, or you're working on a project together, for example, we're still asking that people wear a face covering within 1 metre. And then obviously wash your hands. There's guidance in the toilets, but we're all quite used to washing our hands thoroughly now after we've been in this situation for such a long time. So when you're in the office, obviously we're hot desking now, so there's no allocated desk.
I've lost sound now.
You've lost your sound.
Oh
Can you
no,
not hear me?
come back.
Got
Yeah,
you
you
back.
came back.
Oh, that's good.
Sorry.
I was just saying that with your hot desk, with the hot desk situation, there's no allocated desk now, apart from the few in finance that you'll be aware of. So just make sure that you're clearing your workstation every time you use one. So before and after, and you should find wipes and sanitizer in each office. Use your own stylus on multifunction devices and light switches, etc. Bring your own mug and remember to take it away. Have you both got a BHA travel mug now?
Yeah.
Excellent. Kerry, did you get one?
No,
And we're
I
looking
got Santa Claus brought me one.
Brilliant. Well, if you want a BHA one, which we got made up for this very purpose, then they're in the staff room, downstairs staff room, in boxes. So just take one away with you if you like. And just remember to remove all your belongings when you finish at workstation. This graphic sort of gives it away a little bit, but can you tell me what you should do when you sit down at a hot desk? The first thing you should do when you sit down at a hot desk, apart from sanitize it. Kerry?
Make sure that it's set up for you, not just assume everything's where it should be.
Exactly. So not having a desk of our own, which you would normally do a DSE assessment on, just carry out your own basic risk assessment every time you sit down at a desk. So is the chair and monitor at the right height and position for me? Am I comfortable? And then again, just stay 1 metre away from anyone else. If you need to move within 1 metre, wear your face covering. One of the best ways to stop the spread of COVID-19 and any virus actually is letting as much fresh air as possible when you're in the office, although it can be very cold, I know. So open windows and doors, but remember to close them before you leave. And with that in mind, dress for well ventilated rooms when you come into the office. So I've got a nice cosy cardi that I've just bought for this purpose. But this is quite an interesting little video. This is a relatively new video about ventilating in cold weather. So the video does talk about socialising, but obviously this applies to work too. So I'm just going to play this video and let you watch this now. Can you see and hear that all right? I'm just checking.
No.
Can you not?
Oh, yeah, no.
Right, let me just, I might have to share this screen in a different way then. Hang on 1 sec. Sorry about this, few technical difficulties. I'll stop sharing the PowerPoint and I'll start sharing the video. If I can. Here we go. Are you getting that now?
Yep.
Yeah. There isn't any sound coming through now. It's just cut off for me.
You've got no sound now. Okay. Well, basically, I'll send you the video separately after the
Yeah, I
session.
can see the subtitles.
Yes,
It's fine.
the subtitles, yeah.
Well, basically, what I can play it. Do you want me to play it, or and you
Yeah.
can subtitles? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
So the thing with that is, which is good for us at the moment because of how cold it is, is because we don't have to have the window open the whole time. So just a few minutes each hour. Sorry. Just a few minutes each hour is all that you need to do to get to let the air out, which is really useful in the cold weather. So worthwhile.
I thought that was a good depiction using the smoke.
Yeah, it
was
was.
really effective, that.
Yep.
And just, as I say, just a few minutes is all it would take. So I know it's cold at the moment, but that almost is a benefit in the sense that the colder the weather, the less time you have to have the window open. So sorry about those technical difficulties. But as I say, you can access these slides at any time, and if you want to watch that again with the sound. So returning to the office again, this is a slide that I shouldn't really have to say, but shouldn't really have to talk about, but we do because people are used to not, having their own desk and leaving things behind and not necessarily tidying up after themselves. So it's important that we now tidy up after ourselves each time we move away from a desk. And it's everybody's responsibility to keep the office tidy and safe. Put any waste in bins or take it home with you. And if you notice that we're running out of sanitizer, wipes or Dettol spray in any room, please replace from stock. And if you notice that the stock's getting low, so the stock is held in the office formerly known as HR. So if you go into that room and you notice that we need sanitizer, we need wipes, we need Dettol spray, etc., please just email team.humanresources so that we know, because we might not be in the office regularly either. So just make sure that you do that so that we can order more. Bring food or drinks into the office with you. Don't store or leave them in the office. Use your own travel cup. Bring it with you and take it away with you. If you use any plates, cutlery, etc., wash them up after yourself and put them away. The urn, kettle and microwave are all available for use, but please wipe them down with antibacterial wipes before and after use. And bring your own tea, coffee and milk, etc. into the office, because we're not ordering milk and things anymore now, because of a lot of people are choosing to work from home quite a lot of the time. And why do you think it's important to not leave things in the office like milk and food and what have you at desks?
Well, one, it'll go off, and the smell will be horrible, but you can get cross-contamination in that as well. So it's just good normal practice, isn't it? Tidy up, get it away, and then you leave it for somebody else to deal with.
I mean, you might not be back in the office. That's a thing for a week. It might just be Edinburgh Anchor Day and then at home for the rest of the week, for example. So, yeah, for all those reasons. I just wanted to run through who our fire wardens and first aiders are for the days that you are in the office. So the fire wardens are Liz Lyle. Liz's anchor day is a Thursday, so she'll definitely be on a Thursday, but she is in quite a lot outside of that. Alison Hunter, her anchor day's a Wednesday, as is Alison Myatt's and Caroline Renton's. Katie Gilchrist, Sheila Mowat, Alison Aitchison and Louise Anderson are obviously all in the courts, but they are often in on a Wednesday for meetings as well. And our first aiders are Peter Nisbet. His anchor day is a Thursday, but with Peter being IT, he is in quite a lot during the week as well. If you are in need of first aid or there's an accident or an emergency. Colin Young won't be around with us for much longer as he's leaving, as you're aware, but until he leaves, he's a first aider. Alison Hunter, again, her anchor day is a Wednesday. And again, Katie, Sheila, Alison and Louise, who are courts first aiders. So obviously, they're not going to be around all the time, but most people aren't around all the time either in the office now. So just common sense again, really. If there is a first aider available, make contact with them. But if not, obviously, depending on the situation, just call 111 if it's not too serious an emergency, and 999 if it is. Right, a little quiz to test your knowledge so far. What 2 things should you do when you sit down at a hot desk in the office? Kerry.
Am I giving both or just one?
You just give me one, and then Davy, you give me another one.
Sanitize.
Yes, and what else, Davy?
Set the desk up to suit your particular body shape. So that usually takes me a while.
Who are our first aiders?
Peter.
Katie Gilchrist.
Yep.
Peter Nisbet.
Peter, yep.
Colin Young.
Yep.
And the ladies at the courts.
Yep.
No, so
that's fine. Good. Name 3 things you can do whilst you're in the office to stop the spread of COVID-19.
Wear a mask.
Sorry. Oh, Kerry first, sorry.
Wear a mask.
Yes. Davy?
Sanitize.
Yes. And Kerry?
Ventilate.
Yes. Excellent. And finally, this one's for you, Davy, because Kerry had to name 2 of the 3 there. So, what should you do if you notice that our stock of sanitizer or wipes is running low?
This is like when brickies used to come in and say we've run out of sand. You didn't want to hear that. You want to hear we're running out of sand and take action. So
excellent.
Go and get some, do a bit of self-help and fill up the dispensers and things like that.
Excellent. And if you notice that when you've been at the office formerly known as HR and found that the stock in there's getting low, what should you do?
Report it.
Yeah. And email?
Team HR.
Excellent.
No, Team Human Resources.
Correct. Thanks very much. Well done.
Yeah, I can vouch that there's plenty here.
Excellent, because I know you are in the office formerly known as HR today, Davy. That's great. Good to know. Thanks for the update. Brilliant. So if you are last out of the office, you will need to make sure, because obviously you might just be on your own or with a couple of other people. So it's important to make sure that you close all the fire doors, all the windows if we're going to be ventilating, and you arm the alarm when you leave. Do you both know the alarm code?
I've got a fob.
You've got a fob. Excellent. Kerry,
Yep.
Do you know the code?
I shouldn't confess to this, but yes, I do, because it's written down on a piece of paper.
Right, well, you must keep that piece of paper
It's
very
well
safe.
hidden.
Yes. Excellent. If the T card system's getting used properly, then you should know that you're the last or the second last person to leave. If you're second last, what would be a good idea, do you think?
Got to let a quick walk along to meet somebody if they're there and just say, look, I'm going now. You're not wanting anybody going about searching for you. So a bit of communication is a good thing.
Excellent, exactly. And that, just to let them know out of courtesy that they're the last in, but also you could just make sure that whatever area you're in of the building, that you've closed the fire doors, etc. in that area on your way out. So working from home, please set up any new equipment that you have for working from home and complete the risk assessment I'll be sending out at the end of this week, and just return your risk assessment to team.human resources by Friday the 25th of February. So make sure that obviously your setup at home is your permanent setup and nobody else should be using that desk. So it's, if you get that set up that's in the way that suits you, and just make sure you return that risk assessment to me by that date. Lone working, I know you're both lone, you're both lone workers at times, so please make sure that you've read our lone working policy. Complete our online lone worker training, which now, Davey, is the all singing, all dancing version on iHaskell. I know you completed it previously with the rushed out version, but it is the full version is now available online. Make sure your phone is fully charged and keep your diary up to date every day. So if there are changes to your diary, please make the changes so that your line manager or anybody else who was to open your diary knows where you are. And don't leave home without your BHA mobile phone with your lone working app and your lone working button, which, have you both got those now?
Yeah, I've got it on a watch thing.
Excellent, good. When you're in customers' homes, I know you both on occasion, well, David, you regularly go into customers' homes. Are you back doing that regularly again now?
Yeah, yep, very much so.
So what's the first thing you would do before you even go into the house?
First thing I would do is let them know I'm coming, because you didn't want to sort of stumble upon somebody. Then I would make sure that my hands are sanitised. I still wear gloves when I go in. Carry a can of the Dettol spray, put my mask on, and explain to the customer exactly how we're going to conduct the visit.
Perfect. So you've just, all my bullet points have been answered there, really. So check that the customer's comfortable with you entering their home. Use your hand sanitizer regularly. We still have disposable gloves available if you wish to use them, and you obviously do, Davey.
Yep.
And keep a minimum of 1 metre from your customer at all times, and if that isn't possible, wear your face covering. Kerry, have you been out to any customers' homes recently?
Yes.
Kerry? Yes, have you?
Yes, sorry, I was on mute.
Oh, sorry. That's great. And have you found it okay and people are quite comfortable about you coming back in now?
Yeah, I think they're desperate for us to go back in, and the ones I've dealt with have been very respectful and have said, oh, do you want me to put my mask on? Oh, let me open this window. So brilliant. Yeah, it's been quite an easy conversation. Perfect.
So meeting outside the office, obviously, again, with agile working, we can work from home, we can work in the office, or we might choose to meet our colleagues in a cafe to have a meeting. So just make sure that if you're meeting in a venue which isn't a BHA site, just follow the COVID-19 requirements and guidance provided by the venue. Be aware of what you're talking about looking at on a device when you're meeting in a public space, obviously customers' data, etc., or confidential information you need to be careful about when you're in that environment. And then finally, you need to feel confident to say if it's not okay. So that could be colleagues or customers. So if you find yourself in a situation where other people's behaviour makes you feel uncomfortable, feel empowered to politely speak up and say it's not okay. It's important to feel that you're able to do that, whether it is customers or colleagues. Right, our final little test your knowledge quiz. What should you do once you have your workspace set up with any new kit at home? Kerry.
Test it.
Pardon?
Test it.
Yes, and what else to make sure you're comfortable and safe?
remember.
So you've got a new desk, you've got a new laptop and a riser.
Oh, so yes, I have to adjust it all so that it's suitable to my needs.
Yes, brilliant.
Yeah.
What should you do before you enter a customer's home, Davy?
I like to go through a routine set. I sanitise. Well, when I let them know I'm coming, then I sanitise.
That's
I
fine.
make sure I got my mask, etc., etc.
Perfect. And if you're a lone worker, what should you never leave home without? Kerry.
Your phone and your device.
Excellent. So going back to this little chart, where would you say you are now? What's with your confidence level, keeping yourself and others safe? Kerry?
9.
Excellent. Davy?
Yeah, I'm up there too. Yep.
Excellent. That's brilliant. So going back to our aim, understand how to keep myself and others safe at work. Do you feel that that's been achieved?
Yes.
Yep. Perfect.
Yep.
And then describe 2 steps you need to take to keep yourself and your colleagues safe in the office. Kerry, you can go for that one. So 2 steps that you could take to keep yourself and your colleagues safe in the office.
Do my lateral flow test before coming into the office. And hand sanitize.
Brilliant. And Davy, you've already explained twice 2 actions which will help keep yourself and your customers safe when visiting your home. So I think that's covered quite well. Perfect. So where you'll find this presentation, it's in Microsoft Teams under the BHA way. Click on the Files tab and you'll find the PowerPoint presentation Staying Safe the BHA way there. So all that remains for me to say now is thank you very much for joining me today and taking part in the session. If you've got any more questions regarding any of this, just get in touch. And if anybody asks you any questions, just ask them to get in touch with me too. I'll be sending out a little evaluation of the session, which would be really helpful if you could complete that for me and just to help me improve the session in future. And again, if anybody is looking to find out more about how to stay safe in any of these circumstances, agile working, then just direct them to the slides in Teams as well. So I'm just going to stop the recording now. And thank you again.
Thank you. Very good.
Thank you.